All right, let's shift gears right now and talk about something that I don't know as you've heard us talk about too much on this show, but it's very, very interesting, and that's Bitcoin. Bitcoin, which is a cyber currency, has been on a tear and it is now trading above 11,000, but retreated back into the 10,000 area. It went above 11,000. Deirdre Bolton, and she's here with more on set. I just want to start at the basics here.
Well, you can't ignore it anymore, right?
What is this stuff?
Okay, so it is a cryptocurrency. It was invented in 2008 after the global credit crisis, when a lot of investors began to lose faith in the global system, the global monetary system. So we don't actually know who the single creator is. He goes by an alias. No one can confirm his identity, so it's very mysterious. But you just saw that chart. I mean, Bitcoin rose by 1,000%, Trish. And if you look at today's, it's 11,000, or it did hit that 11,000. But if you look at this, this is now worth one Bitcoin worth more than 7 times an ounce of gold. And we're used to thinking of gold for centuries, right? As the safe haven play. So a Bitcoin now, you could argue, more or less perceived as more safe than gold. I want to underline the volatility.
Okay, so more safe than gold.
It is
so it was created theoretically, nobody really knows, by this mathematician, and he basically hid all this Bitcoin all over the internet. I mean, this is wild stuff, right? And you have to go out and mine it.
Yes.
Basically get this coin. And there's only a certain amount.
Yeah, it's either 21 or 22 million. And so it is a fixed amount. But really the disruption here is that you do not need a bank and you do not need a central government. It is peer-to-peer. So maybe in the U.S. we have a harder time understanding the value of this because the U.S. dollar is backed by the full faith and credit of the U.S. government, which, as much as we may complain about it day to day, is a very stable system. But for example, if you live in Venezuela, my guess is, if we were both there, you would rather pay me for a good or a service via Bitcoin than trust the government at this point to manage that currency. So in developing countries, this actually makes a lot more sense. I do want to highlight, though, the volatility, like volatility. The Bitcoin has crashed about 80% more than 5 times in its history since 2008. So it is extraordinarily volatile. But I think
it's still pretty thinly traded. I mean, there's not a ton of people out there buying
But I think what is beginning to become institutionalized, or at the very least organized, there's enough investors saying, I want to get into this, I want to have some exposure. So the CME, the Chicago Board of Exchange, they are going to begin trading futures contracts based on the value of Bitcoin. NASDAQ, believe it or not, is going to start in the first half of 2018. Cantor Fitzgerald as well, going to be creating futures contracts. So it is becoming more accepted.
And I know some of the credit card companies are looking at this as well.
Yeah, some of the payments, Square, Jack Dorsey's Square. Jack Dorsey, of course, known more for Twitter, but created the payments company Square. You can pay for things with
I think
Bitcoin
one of the most
Square.
interesting things about it, Deirdre, and I'll just button it up with this, is it's a kind of cash-like system. It's not easily traceable. And so, you know, in today's world, everything you do online, everything you purchase is theoretically traceable via a credit card transaction. Well, with Bitcoin, that would be really different.
It's completely different, and it's a lot of the reason why it took so long to be adopted, because the people who were using the untraceable Bitcoin were criminals. They were trafficking people, guns, military equipment, and a bunch of other things that they shouldn't have been. However, now it does seem to be
coming into the mainstream.
Exactly.
Deirdre Bolton, thank you so much.